Hi, Mark Portlock here, and thanks for taking a look at this video on overconfidence and personal goals. First, a question. Is overconfidence a problem in the first place? Surely, if being confident is good, then being overconfident is better, right? Well, I'm not so sure. Having looked into this, I now believe that being overconfident causes real problems, and so maybe it's causing a problem for you too. For example, when you set your goals, were you realistic? Well, if you were realistic, then how come, like me and many other people, you're likely not making the progress that you expected? Or you've possibly stopped and just given up and you're now trying something else. So what's going on? Well, if you'd like to know, then keep watching, as firstly, I'll show you what's happening. Secondly, I'll show you a trap that's probably affecting you right now. And lastly, I'll show you 3 ways to handle it. So, who says that overconfidence is a problem in the first place? Well, here's who. Firstly, Professor Daniel Kahneman says so. Now, Professor Kahneman is an American Nobel Prize winner and author of the best-selling book, Thinking Fast and Slow. He says people think their goals are more achievable than they really are. Secondly, Tony Robbins says so. Now, if you don't know Tony Robbins, he's one of the world leaders in personal improvement. He says this: most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. And thirdly, Wikipedia. Wikipedia says so. It says, the overconfidence effect is a well-established bias in which you think you can do something, but you can't. For example, a survey found that 93% of American drivers rate themselves as better than the median skill level. Well, that example might be kind of funny, except that Wikipedia goes on to say this: overconfidence has been called the most pervasive and potentially catastrophic of all of the biases to which people fall victim. It has been blamed for lawsuits, strikes, wars, and stock market bubbles and crashes. I think the conclusion is plain. You're delusional. In fact, to a degree, we're all delusional. It's a normal human condition. So, if that's true, how might it be affecting you? Well, here's some fascinating information. It comes from many years of research from a company led by Ken Blanchard. Now, you may remember Ken Blanchard. He wrote a bestseller called The 1 Minute Manager, and he's written many others since. An important finding from his research is best shown by this diagram. It shows what happens when we tackle a new task. The green line shows how your competence changes over time, and as you'd expect, it starts out low, and as long as you stick at the task, you'll get more competent over time. However, the red line shows your commitment over time. It starts out pretty high in stage 1. This is when you're at the enthusiastic beginner stage. That's your overconfidence at work. Then reality kicks in at stage 2. This is when you become what's called a disillusioned learner. It's when you realize that the task is not so easy after all, and your commitment drops sharply away. This is the trap. You're now at real risk of just giving up and likely moving on to try doing something else. But as long as you can get sufficient momentum, you'll get through stage 2 to reach success in stages 3 and 4. The trick then is being aware of the overconfidence effect and how it can trap you in stage 2. So, how can we handle this? I believe there are 3 practical steps. Firstly, this one. Get a coach. Now that you understand how overconfidence can take you out of the game, you understand why investing in help from a personal coach can make all the difference. A good coach should know about the trap and will help pull you through it. Secondly, this one. Switch perspective. At the beginning of a task, keep looking back and be happy to see what you've already achieved, then, as you move through the trap, switch perspective to look forward and be happy to see how little more effort is needed to complete the task. And thirdly, do this. Set better deadlines. Many people seem to work harder at the setting of goals than they do at the setting of the deadlines for them. So maybe the goal itself is right, but the overconfidence effect has caused you to set a deadline that is earlier than it really should have been. If that's true, maybe pay more attention to deadline setting and improve this skill. Well, that's it from me. The basis of this video is one of the principles from a system I've developed to help people achieve their goals. So if you'd like to find out more, then click on the link below.